Now, I may not have all the keys to the lock house. However, I got the next best thing. I got all 6 trades, and I'm here to give you my complete overview of Locke & Key. Hey, all you webheads out there, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, I'm your host, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to bring you my thoughts of the Locke & Key volumes 1 through 6. This is kind of like my overview, and for me to show you all 6 of these books on what this collection actually looks like. And now that I read volumes 1 through 6, what I'm going to do is a follow-up video and do a comparison on the Locke & Key books and on the Locke & Key show. I want to see which one is better. So I wanted to read all this before the show actually came out. I missed it by probably about a week, but I got all of it read, and let me just tell you, this story is one hell of a ride, okay? So when you have this complete book, this complete collection, it has this slipcover that you can actually have for it, and it contains all of the books, okay? So what you get here is kind of cool. You get this, the spine of the cover here. You get the Locke House key, the Locke House itself, and it gives you all the titles of the books. So you got Head Games, Crown of Shadows, Keys to the Kingdom, Clockworks, and Alpha and Omega. So that's what you have there, and again, the picture of the house. Then we get to see a door, and this door is a representation of one of the keys that is in the Locke House, which is called the actual ghost key, okay? And once you step outside of it or whatnot, you become this ghost, and you can be anywhere in the building, but your body dies. So quite interesting, okay? So let me go into the overhead view, and I'm going to show off these books to you, and yeah, we'll be on our way. All right, guys, so here we go. Here is the first volume of Locke & Key. It's titled Welcome to Lovecraft. Now, you get to see a wonderful cover here. It's embossed. You get to see the key that kind of stands out here, and you get to see the house that's in the background. The covers are absolutely gorgeous when it comes to these books. The hardcovers are really nice as well, but I felt like the trade collection is a little bit more cost-effective, and, of course, you still get the same story here. So really nice looking cover. Here we get to see the ghost key on it. And what's the story about? Well, I'm not going to give away spoilers, but basically it's this family that moves to this house called Key House or Lovecraft or whatever you want to call it, and based off of their father's death. And our main characters' names here are Tyler, Kinsey, Bodie, and the mother's name is Nina, and then there's Uncle Duncan, and they learn about these magical keys that this house possesses throughout the house. Now, the magic is really used for kids that are under 18. Once you become an adult, the magic slowly fades away, and you forget about these keys. So you get to see all these keys and all their abilities and everything that they do, and it's quite interesting story. Now, this book is not for really the young at heart. This is a very graphic book. It's very horror-like. Joe Hill is the one that writes this book, and the name Gabriel Rodriguez does the artwork, and the colors fit that horror feel to it, but you can see that it is a very dark book. You get to see all kinds of murder that happens, people chop off other people's heads and whatnot. But what this story has to offer here is a lot of great character development. You learn about the kids of this generation, and you also get to learn about the kids from the past generation, like Tyler's family or his dad, on how he was obsessed with the keys and learning what they do and all those different types of things. So for instance, here was the ghost key here, and you get to see that the spirit leaves your soul or leaves your body, and it gets to float around within the house, which is quite interesting. So Really nice looking first volume here. This is awesome. And so that's what the first one has to offer. In the second volume, this one is called Head Games. Okay. Here is the cover here. And this one gets to focus on the head key. And now here's another nice looking cover, and you get to see this cave here in the background. Okay, now what this head key does is that you can actually go into people's heads, right? You put the key in the back of their head and it unlocks their head, and you can take out thoughts or memories or things of that nature when it comes to this head key or whatnot. So it was really cool to see what this book has to offer for its readers. And we get to learn a little bit more about the main antagonist in this book and whatnot. And we get to learn about some of the characters from the past, which was really well done as well. This older school teacher and this teacher that was younger was part of the main crowd. But this guy here by the name of Dodge, yeah, this guy is no good, and he wants possession of these keys. So really interesting story, and it's really good to see what this head key does. You can see that it's in the back of Bodhi's neck here, and it like takes off his skull, and you can literally remove thoughts. You can see all the thoughts in here, and we get to see like you can remove anything that you want to make you forget. So really interesting key there. That was probably one of my favorite keys when reading this. Next is Volume 3, which is Crown of Shadows. Now, I think this is, I don't remember if it's called the Shadow Key, but nice looking cover here as we get to see this particular key in this book. What this key does is when you find it, you have this crown you can put on top of your head as well, and you can control all these like shadow-like monsters, and you can see they all look like this, and you can have them do your bidding. So you can see here's the crown that's worn on top of the head, but you can see that this is a very interesting key to have because you have all these creatures at the hand of your disposal, right? And the only thing that's their weakness when it comes to these shadows is basically light. And here you get to see Dodge, who has possession of these keys at this point in the story. So a really, really good volume here, and really interesting fighting. We get to see the mother in this volume, what she's going through, and Kenzie and some of her supporting cast as well. Really great stuff when it comes to this volume here in Volume 3. So now, Volume 4, okay, Keys to the Kingdom. This one has to do with more of an animal key, where you actually can go through this secret door and you can become an animal, any type of animal that you want in here. And that was quite interesting as well. You get introduced to some other keys. There's this one key as well where it's called the mending key, where you can actually put something in this cabinet and it will fix itself. So that was quite weird as well. But really solid story here of what it comes to, and you get to learn about another particular character from the past. So like I said, I'm trying not to give away too much, but again, the character development in this story is absolutely outstanding. For as many characters as there are in this book, the character growth is great, and you care about every single one of these characters. And in this book, you actually get to see more of the kids on how they start to use these keys and how they use it to their advantage, and how when you start to abuse the key's power, it kind of goes against you. So interesting story there. All right. And then next on number 5, this one comes to Clockworks. Now, this is a really good book as well, as this one has to do with the history, the family's history of back in the day. Okay, of where the family came from, how these keys were forged, what all these keys mean, and how it represented this war that was going on. And it all kind of ties into what happens today. So this was a really, really good one as well. yeah, you get to see a kid run over a bus, get ran over by a bus. Just really great stuff. And again, even up until this point in Volume 5, you get to see more of these outstanding things that all our characters can do with these keys. So really, really great here. And then last but not least, you get the conclusion to the series, and this is Volume 6, and you wind up getting to see the Omega Key. And the Omega Key is like the ultimate key. This is the key where you can legit control the world. You can do whatever you want when you open up this portal with this Omega Key, okay? And we get to see Dodge, who is the main villain in this story, actually try to go through with his plan and making his way to this portal and whatnot. He has possession of all the keys, and it turns out to be really interesting. And then at the same time, you have a supporting cast member in this book who actually tries to take the video of all his graduating students and what they remember most about their senior year and everything that they went through. So it's really, really good book about learning about the Locke family, the supporting cast, and everyone that surrounds them. It's a really outstanding book. It's so well made. The quality of the pages are really good. The covers are really good. So worth the price. And I definitely recommend this. If you are a fan of Joe Hill and you're currently reading DC's Black Label books, the Joe Hill comics, you're going to love this, because this is one of his, earlier stories from about 10 years ago, and this is where it's at right here. So go ahead, read this, whether you're watching the show first and then, reading the book second, or read this first and then watch the show. Do a comparison for yourself. See which one you like actually better. And like I said, guys, once I get done watching the entire series, what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to do an overview of the show and do a comparison between the show and the books. So there you have it. There's my overview of Locke and Key, the first volumes 1 through 6, on what I thought of the story. And guys, if you like any of this other content on here, go ahead and click on it. Until next time, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off, and I'll see you guys real soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.